Hi, I'm Debbie Janoff. I'm the proud owner of Holy Fit Nutrition, and I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach. I wanted to show you today, I'm going to demonstrate how to make what I call egg cups. So these would be a great breakfast idea. They're not difficult to make, but I'm going to ask you to bear with me because what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the screen back and forth so that you can actually see what I'm doing. I've had a lot of people that have made great comments about some of my videos, but with the demonstrations, they have asked to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to make that work for you. So what these egg cups are would be almost like an omelet, and it's made inside of a muffin tin. So you can have, two or three, I would usually have two or three. I give my husband four. And it depends on, how hungry you are and what you're looking for, but it's a great way to have breakfast on the go. So what I do is I first start with a muffin tin. Now, I have some that are in the oven right now, and I made 12 of them. So I don't need to make as many, so I'm going to make a smaller batch for this recipe. I use eggs, and I use the cage-free always omega-3 eggs. Sometimes they are vitamin D enhanced, but these are the eggs that I'm going to use. They're brown eggs, and you can use egg whites, liquid whites, go with organic. I'm also going to use pesto. Now, pesto I love. I actually love this pesto. It's in the refrigerated section of the market. This is a vegan version. They have a few different varieties, but this one is just basil, parsley, and lemon. You can use your own, and I do grow in my kitchen right now. I'm doing, at my windowsill, I've got fresh basil with parsley and mint, so you can make your own pesto and have some in the refrigerator to use. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I really want to show you how to do things the simplest, easiest way possible, because I know everyone's busy, and if you want to prep this in advance, like today's Sunday, I'm making them today, and I'll keep them in the refrigerator and just heat them up. So it's a really great recipe for breakfast. It's a nice brunch. It could be lunch. It depends on when you want to eat your eggs. So what I'm going to do is I always use my coconut oil. So you can see it's going down. I use a lot of it. I have coconut oil, and there's also a coconut oil spray you can find in the market. This makes it easier to spray the muffin tin. So I spray the tin with some coconut oil, and I set it aside. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pan, and I'm going to put some of the coconut oil in the pan, and I'm going to sprinkle into the pan red pepper flakes. So I usually start that in with the coconut oil while it's heating up. It gives it a little bit of flavor, adds a little bit of a bite. This is because we like our things a little bit spicier. You don't have to do this. And I want to also point out, you want to heat your oven. So if you have a convection oven like I do, the recipe would call for 350, but with a convection oven, you always want to heat it just 25 degrees less. So heat your oven at 325, let that warm up while you're doing these next steps. So I'm going to take my pan, and in the pan, I've got my coconut oil, and it's heating up with the red pepper flakes. And then I'm also going to lower this so you can see. So this is already finished, but what I've done is I've used shallot, and I love shallots. To me, I like it better. I think it's more flavorful. It's not as spicy as an onion. It's a little milder, but I do like it, and I like how it sautés. I'm also going to, when that starts to saute, I'm going to add some mushrooms. This is a great way to get mushrooms that are delicious. Oh, you can see. Already sliced and cleaned. So that would be how you do that. And then once the mushrooms and shallots have started to saute, I'm going to hand in a couple, thick handfuls, probably like 2 cups of fresh spinach. And I let it sit on the stove, and this is what it looks like. And when that's done, I'm going to set that aside. Now, as an aside, I also want to tell you that with fresh spinach, when I buy my packaged spinach and some of the lettuces, like arugula, for example, I buy them in the packages, always organic. And then what I do is I open the package when I get home, and I line a Ziploc bag with paper towel. And then I take the spinach from the package, and I'm going to pour it into the Ziploc bag, and then I'll show you what I do. Let me show you. I'm going to fold over, and one good-sized package will fit into a Ziploc bag. Sometimes the real big ones might need two. And then I'm going to start to roll it and get all the air out of the bag and zip it shut. And this is what a full package would look like. It's almost like if you used a, one of those things to get, I forgot what it's called, but whatever. I'm getting all the air out of the bag, and that way I can store it like this, and it does last longer. So that is my spinach. And now I've got some of the vegetables all set aside. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my eggs, and I've used, because I have my muffin tin with 6 muffins, egg muffins, I'm going to use 6 eggs. I did 3 whites and 3 yolks, 3 whole eggs and 3 whites. You can do all egg whites. You can use all eggs if you like. It is very healthy, and it's fine for you to have 2 whole eggs a day. They are a complete protein. It's one of the best sources of healthy protein. They also have healthy fat in them. The yolk is a great source of choline and some B vitamins that you're not going to get out of just the whites. But I do a combination. So I have 3 yolks, 3 whites, and like 2 tablespoons of the pesto, and I whip it up together in here. Add a pinch of salt, a little pinch of sea salt, and I have that ready to go. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do, and this is an option, you don't have to do this. I like how it comes out with a little bit of a crust, not a crust, but a little bit of a base on the muffin. I feel like it gives it a little bit more consistency, and again, you don't have to do that. But if you're following a keto diet, or keto-ish diet, where you want more fiber in your diet, then there's a couple different things you can do. I post a lot about these GG crackers. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but GG are really much, they're kind of cardboardy, so they don't have a great flavor, but they do make a great fiber-based crust, but they do contain some wheat bran. So if you're trying to be gluten-free, this wouldn't be a great choice for you. But what I like to do is I put it in my coffee grinder, like the mill, and I grind up the GGs. So I have them in a fine powder, which I then will take a spoon, and I'm going to just add some, I actually have them already ground up, so I'm just going to put a little bit in the base of the pan, of the muffin pan. You can see how little I'm using. Now for my batch that I made earlier, for someone who is trying to be more gluten-free but would still like to get the additional fiber, because these GG crackers, by the way, are really all about fiber. That's what they're known for, or best for. So then I put them in. They've got the coconut oil in the bottom, and I'm going to just sprinkle it lightly. I mean, you can see this is not even a tablespoon in each cup. Just add a little bit more. And once these are coated with a little bit of the GGs, or if you were putting them, and if you're gluten-free, another great option I actually have been using is flaxseed meal. So flax is a great ingredient that you can use. All this is ground up flax seeds. If you're going to eat flax seeds, it is better for them to be ground because it's easier to digest them. These are a great source of your omega-3 fatty acids. So these are organic. I got them at Trader Joe's. I keep them in the refrigerator, and these have fiber in them. If you're looking at a keto diet, you want to think in terms of your net carbs. Well, what net carbs are is that you look at your carbohydrates and you subtract from them the amount of fiber that's in them in a serving. So, for example, something like this in 2 tablespoons, which is probably the whole, if I did 6, it would be 2 tablespoons for the entire batch. There's 5 grams of carbohydrates, total carbohydrates, and 3 grams of fiber. So your net carbs would be just 2 net carbs for using the flax. The GGs would be the same thing, actually. 5 carbohydrates and 3 fibers. So it's 2 net carbs. So that would be a nice way you could do it gluten-free. And I'm going to set this here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, here now I'm going to lower this, so bear with me. I'm going to now put the eggs into the cup, and I'm filling it like 3/4 of the way. Sometimes I don't judge it that well, and then I have to add a little bit more of the egg, and you can always judge. Oh, this one I did really well. So yeah, it's 3 yolks and 3 whites, or 6 eggs, or the equivalent. And then I'm going to take my veggies, and I left my little tongs, but I'm going to add them into each cup. So I'm going to put my combination of spinach, mushrooms, and shallots, and I made a little bit extra, so these can be loaded up with veggies, which are a great source of vitamins, minerals. Obviously with the spinach I'm getting iron. They've got a lot of flavor. And okay, let me put this in. And then, I'm coming back up. Hi again. Then you've got a choice. So what I like to do is, if I'm going to be plant-based, and I don't eat dairy, so for me personally, rather than dairy, I'm going to use nutritional yeast. It sounds kind of weird. It tastes very good. And what this is, it's like a vegan source of a cheese flavor to foods. I don't know why they call it nutritional. Well, I do. It's because that's what it is. But it just kind of sounds gross. But anyway, this is by Bragg's, the same people that make the apple cider vinegar. This is a product that I have in the refrigerator all the time. I use this on top of my zoodles. I use this when I'm making cauliflower crust pizza. I use this instead of Parmesan cheese. But if you don't have a sensitivity to dairy, you can use Parm, sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese in there. Or another option is Daiya. It's the dairy-free, like shredded mozzarella. So there's a couple different options you can do. But for this, I'm going to use the nutritional yeast, and I'm going to show you when I sprinkle it. It gives it a little bit of a yellow, but it melts in. It dissolves. And again, this is an extra thing that you do not have to do. So now these are ready to go in the oven. And they cook for about 18 minutes. I will say I've cooked them too long a couple times, and nothing happens to them, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to be like Rachel Ray here for a second, and I'm going to open up the oven, and I'm going to pull out the batch that I just made, so you can see how beautiful. See, got a bunch of my muffins here. I'm just going to put them on a cooling rack, and I'm going to pop these guys in the oven for about 18-ish minutes. Okay. All right, so let me bring this back over here. It's on a cooling rack. So I like to put everything on a cooling rack to let it cool. I'm going to show you how great this looks. Lower these. Okay, so we've got these egg cups, you can see. And then I'm going to let them cool for a little while. I take a very thin spatula, and I go around and loosen them. So you can see, show you. So I'm going to take this. Once they cool a little, you go around and just loosen them out of the tin. Actually, these loosened up really well. I mean, these are just out of the oven. So they pop out just like a little muffin. You can see what it looks like. See the bottom? This one, these I actually made with the flax because I wanted to have some of those on here. But you see how nice? It's just a little tiny crust. It's got flax, which obviously is really good for you. Ooh, I'm so excited with how these are loosening up. It's a little bit still too hot to be doing it, so my spatula is bending, but whatever. Okay, so they're all popped out and loose. And then when you go to serve them, I mean, then you can sort of do whatever you like. In fact, the other day, I had a crazy good workout, and I just felt like I needed not only the egg, but I wanted something a little bit more in terms of vitamins. So what I did was I heated up some broccoli that I had in the refrigerator. I added it to my plate, and now here is, so this would be a serving. It could be 3. Sometimes I'll eat 2. I'll give Alan 4, but this would be, this would be a serving. And then what you can do is add some avocado for some more healthy fat. You could spice it up with a little bit of sriracha if you like that. And that's really it. Simple, easy peasy. If you'd like the recipe, I'm happy to share it with you. And this is all part of what would be the next program that I'm getting ready to promote and launch. This is a keto program. Ketogenic diet is something that's, a new buzzword. It's out a lot. People are hearing about it. But it's not a new diet. It actually is something that has been around for a long time. It was something that people used for patients with epilepsy, and they found that their brain reacted better when they reduced the amount of carbohydrates that they had. And then they also noticed that they were losing weight, which is why it's become such a great weight loss tool. It's really particularly great for people who are fond of animal proteins. If you eat fish, chicken, meat, there's a lot of amazing recipes. Personally, I eat fish on occasion. I am more plant-based, so it was a little bit more challenging, but that was a great thing for me to discover about myself. But there's some wonderful recipes. The program is 4 weeks long. It'll probably launch around Memorial Day, I'm thinking, because it's a great way to have a nice weight loss program other than, a sugar detox. And I think you're going to be really excited with some of the results you'll have. Great recipes. This is one of those recipes. And to learn more about how I can help you feel better in your body, please follow me on my website, www.holyfitnutrition.com. Follow me on Facebook. My Facebook page, I post some recipes, tips, and suggestions. And if there's anything that you are interested in learning more about, please let me know, because I'm happy to help you out and teach you. So with that, have a great day. Enjoy your beautiful Sunday, wherever you are. And I look forward to coming back and talking to you some more very soon. Bye-bye.